Hello everybody and welcome to Gaming Sanity Podcast 4. I'm your host, Mr. Black, alongside Asian Jesus. And this week it's been a big one. Grand Theft Auto 5 has released to the biggest entertainment release of all time. $800 million in 24 hours. Unbelievable figures. It's broken all sales records in the UK, surpassing Call of Duty, Black Ops, which is always lovely. So, Matthew, how was the release for you? You went down to get the collector's edition. How was it for you getting the collector's edition?
Well, actually, the queue was not really there, which was fantastic. I am actually currently sitting here wearing my cap, my fantastic
Excellent.
Los Santos cap. It is doing
excellent.
It's quite comfortable. You get compliments from the hat. It's fantastic.
That's good.
Plus the Hawaiian shirt's on.
Excellent. The Max Payne 3 Hawaiian shirt people, go buy that from the Rockstar website. We all need one of those, and a sensible hairdo. Very sensible hairdo, actually, like mine, which is a trend-setting hairdo. So, we have played it now for 3 days. I have to say, we will discuss the initial impressions now. Now, we're going to have to put a disclaimer out here, first of all, people, because Rockstar do have some quite strict policies and rules over what we can and can't show in the video footage that will be over this podcast. We can't show any story, we can't show any sort of real mission footage, so we've got some sort of random footage to display some of the points we're going to talk about, and just a general rampage, and just so you can see the game running. Now, for me, when I first started the game, I honestly couldn't believe how it looked. I thought the graphics are absolutely unbelievable. I know there was a lot of speculation out there, wasn't there? Yes, the trailers are not from this generation. That they're from the PC version, or they're from the the next generation console versions, which haven't even been remotely announced or even hinted at yet. Quite frankly, unbelievable. Amazing visuals, amazing frame rate, levels of detail, the likes of which I don't think I've seen, period, on this generation, apart from maybe in Skyrim, but even then the level of detail on this game makes Skyrim look somewhat lacking at some degree. What were your initial impressions, Matthew, when you first turned it on?
Well, it's you got that same thing with previous GTAs where the amount of information that came from the environment just overwhelmed you straight off the bat. And I've got to say, every inch of this map it feels like it's been hand designed. The amount of roads, buildings, and that have been carefully crafted into these areas, and a lot of these buildings themselves seem very unique compared to what you might see further down the road. It's just graphically, it is fantastic, and it's just taken this whole generation to get to this wonderful. It's like a piece of art, to be honest, especially when you are heading in from the hills and you get that glow coming out from the city. It's been a truly fantastic experience, and the writing on it just works in well. It's pretty much, all up, top around. I haven't had any issues with it any point at the moment yet, I've got to say.
I've had a couple of issues,
really?
but we'll go into those a bit later. Yeah. Now, for me, I think we should now sort of move on to some of our highlights that we've had so far. So I will give you highlight number one. Highlight number one was when I started the game, and the first mission as Franklin that you have to do involves a bit of driving. Now we can discuss this because this is pretty much one of the first missions in the game. Everybody's going to have played this or will be playing this as we speak. And as I was in the car, you put the hood. You can put the convertible hood up, which was just amazing just to look at, and how Franklin sort of turns to look at the hood coming over as well, the convertible roof, which I just thought was a nice little attention to detail that they didn't even need to put in. But once again, Rockstar, the detail kings, did. And Britney Spears' "Give Me More" song was on the radio. Now, if any song could have summarised what I was thinking at the time as I was gunning that car down the streets with that song blasting out, getting chased by the police, it was Sexy Little Britney's Give Me More, and that was the video, by the way, where she's dancing around on the strip pole with a little bum out, doing some good work. And then the British DJ came on, and she went, "Oh yes, you know you're loving it, aren't you? You know you're loving it." And I was like, yes, I am loving it. Yes, I am. And, what an amazing start to a game. I mean, musically, just to summarise exactly what I was thinking at the time. Over to you. How about, what was your highlight number one?
Oh, highlight number one. God, I guess it's got to be that movie chase scene at the beginning. That's straight out. As soon as you got out of that bank and you got control of the vehicle, it's like, yeah, we're straight out of the movies. But look, there's a train track. Let's hop it. But it takes off with such a. It's kind of a surprise, but at the same time, you can kind of predict it off as well. But yeah, it really just...
Let's not reveal too much. We don't want this video getting taken down.
No, this is like the first.
I'll tell you what. The beginning did remind me of a bit, though. It did remind me a bit of Hoboken in Max Payne. It did remind me a bit of that with the snow.
Well, they were in Border, Canada.
Yeah.
So yeah, all the snow and that. Graphically as well, it was just fantastic. That very scene. That was only ever going to be used once as well. So, yeah.
Well, I know the pre-release hype was there was a sort of a mission in Liberty City, wasn't there, or something? I don't know whether Rockstar chucked that out there just to sort of put people off the scent of how the game was going to start. But there were rumours you were going to be starting in Liberty City. I mean, there were rumours that Michael was actually Claude from the third game, just older. Oh, now that would have been awesome if that had happened.
That would have been odd.
So your highlight was the beginning of the game. Was there? I mean, one thing I will say as well is the composed soundtrack. That the guy who did the Red Dead soundtrack, fantastic ambient music as well. For certain missions and things, really well done. Really sets the mood, gets the tension going.
Oh yeah, it's good that we've finally got audio coming in on missions. Like when we're doing actions and that, because what was it? It was the end of Ballad of Gay Tony, where you just got music overlaying the audio as you're jumping out of the. You should have played this game by now. So I'm just going to say it.
Yes, people. If you haven't played this, then what have you been doing for the past sort of 4 years?
It really is. At the end, as Luis Lopez is parachuting down towards Broker to go meet up with Gay Tony. They've got... I can't remember the song. But, yeah, they had that overlaying. That was probably the first time we've heard it overlaying while you're still playing in-game. And it's good to see that not only have they taken away from that, they've taken on the whole music from like Max Payne and all that, and they've actually gone, okay, let's have an audio track for GTA. And another thing, mentioning Max Payne, when it comes to missions, they've decided, like the cutscenes on them, they have that you don't have the loading screens now. You don't have that blank screen. No. It's just straight into the cutscene. You could just be walking into the room and somebody will appear out from the corner and go, "Oh, you need to do this. What are you doing with my sister?"
Yeah, to be honest, it's a culmination of everything they've done so far.
And it's pulled off so well.
Every good point of every game they've ever made is in GTA 5.
Oh, apart from diving.
The driving mechanics as well are so much more improved, I think. It doesn't feel like you're driving through treacle now. It's responsive. Car modifications make an actual difference in the game now, and I mean a real difference. I've messed around with a lot of cars. Really do make a difference, lowering your suspension, putting some spoilers on, new transmission, and so on. Really does add a whole lot to your car development. Now I know you haven't fully got involved in that yet.
No,
yeah,
I've
it's something I was straight into.
what was it? I got hold of a Phoenix. Do you remember those old cars?
Absolutely.
Yeah, the old Firebirds. Well, I've got one of them. I've souped that up. It's pretty much looking like Kit from Knight Rider at the moment. The unfortunate thing is I can't seem to find a Dukes anywhere.
They'll be about.
Yeah,
we'll find one.
If anybody's actually been able to stumble across them, please let us know.
Yes. Let us know where that is.
It's one of the cars that I do want to find. I'm quite fond of the old Chargers anyway, but I called it as well. There's going to be something from Dukes of Hazzard inside the customs shops. That bloody car horn's in there.
There is.
The car horn is in there. So I don't consider that a spoiler. That's really everybody's going to go find a Dukes now. Just get that car horn in there.
Well, one of the cars I found, actually, that I was really impressed with was the Virgo, which I always love, which is similar to the Dukes, rear-wheel drive. And I got the Shelby Cobra as well, like Eleanor from the Gone in 60 Seconds film with Nicolas Cage. I've been driving around in one of those as well, so yes, excellent work. Now, we'll move on to highlight number 2. Now, I think highlight number 2 has to be, for me, the level of detail in the game that doesn't sort of need to be there as such. Most developers probably wouldn't even bother with some of this that I'm about to talk about now. One is when you stop your car in a garage or next to the street, and this becomes even more noticeable if you're playing in surround sound or in surround sound headphones, is the car makes the noise of the engine cooling down and ticking down. You know that noise?
Yeah.
I don't know whether you've noticed that yet, but I couldn't believe that when I first heard it, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. Now, the second part of this was when I went to rob a petrol station, and there was an Asian fella behind the counter, and I stuck the gun in his face, and he very, very quickly started emptying the bag of, the register into a bag of cash for me, and ran out of the store screaming. I got in the car, drove off, got a chase from the police, managed to escape, and so forth. Anyway, 2 days later, I was still a bit short of cash, so I thought I'd go back and try and do him over again. Well, I walked into the petrol station, and he recognised me straight away and pulled out a shotgun. He goes, it's you! So I had to blow his head off and then run behind the till and empty the till myself and escape. And I was just stunned that he actually recognised me. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what? This guy's actually recognised me from when I came in before. Of all the people who've probably been in his petrol station or whatever. And I just thought that was fantastic. That really said to me there's been a lot of love and detail gone into this.
Yeah, no, I actually did come across the whole bank robbing, well, not the bank robbing, the shop robbing and the whole remembrance stuff as well, just not too long ago. And it is just, it's odd, but at the same time it's just funny as to just be straight out accused, you did this, bugger, and start hightailing out as fast as you can. Yeah, pretty much the amount of detail just in there. Okay, the whole funfair stuff, okay, you can go on a roller coaster and that, fair enough. You kind of expect stuff like that. But it's odd that you're Michael's kids, for instance, when you're at home, or you go home sometimes, they'll all be in there kind of thing. It's all randomised as well. So sometimes the daughter Tracy will be on the phone saying all kinds of things that parents shouldn't really be hearing. At the same time, you can hear his Michael's son just yelling off at kids online, while playing shooter games and that. And it's
It's some good lines.
Oh, some of them are absolutely hilarious, and it's just they didn't need to put it in there, but at the same time they wanted to keep that level of immersion going on there, so they went, okay, fair enough, let's do it. And it just helps create that creates that extra board on the immersion scale where you do feel like you're part of that family because you actually see them around the house as you go along your regular life.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Again, it's the pedestrians, the way they act and talk and that are getting even better. Like how they call up the cops as well when things happen, or they threaten to call up the cops.
Oh, the police!
Yeah.
They're a gold mine. I'll tell you one thing I do when I hear the sirens going off when I'm driving around with the headphones on. I will actively seek out the police. I'm going to try and put some footage of an example of this over. I do actually have an example of this. Follow the police and see what they get up to, because some of the stuff the police get involved in and the shootouts they get involved in. I actually witnessed a shootout where the police killed the various people who were occupying a certain car, and then one of the police killed the other officer as well. It was some great work by the police. But yeah, they usually end up in some crazy situations. So if you hear the sirens going off, people, follow the police and go watch what happens, because it's gold. It usually is absolute gold. Really funny.
Yeah. I gotta say, when you do get a wanted level, I've been seeing a lot more cop cars come after you. There's like a lot more, like we want to have a lot more chasing you down kind of thing to create that effect. But at the same time, losing them has been so much easier. Now it's what I've been waiting for years. It's all about...
Well, it is and it isn't, depending on what you can do, isn't it?
It's a visual element.
It is and it isn't.
But you can hide away from them.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah.
And you don't have to leave that area zone. You just have to get out of sight and out of... Like, you have to be out of sight for a certain amount of time, and then you've escaped them. So you don't have to get out of that zone.
Yeah, problems arise if you've got no sort of roof over you and the helicopter comes.
Yeah, and just spot you out.
That's when you really have to start gunning the car. Now this is a good segue into my next bit that I'm going to talk about. Highlight number 3. Now you get these lot of little random missions that pop up, like Red Dead Redemption. We all know about this. This isn't any particular spoilers either for anybody. Now there's a certain one where you will find a security van guarded by a couple of security guards. Now, unfortunately, the other evening, this happened just as I turned off my capture device. I was going to go to bed. I was literally on my way back to the house to put the car in and save the game, and I just saw one of these security guard, vans at the petrol station. So I drove in, and they just put the cash into the back of the van. So I killed the 2 guys with the shotgun. And then, obviously, the police came, so I went and hid behind the back of the petrol station in, like, this little alcove. And, obviously, the helicopter couldn't see me. The cop cars were sort of driving around in the forecourt, and they couldn't see me either. So they all drove off. And so I was left with the van there, and it says, you must have some explosives to blow the doors off. Now, unfortunately, I didn't have any grenades or anything on me, so I thought, well, I wonder if I can just ram the doors off with the car. So I started ramming the back of the truck. That didn't make any difference. So then I came up with the bright idea of, well, we'll blow the car up. So I parked the car behind the van, blew the car up, it blew the doors off. I managed to get the money, but to my horror, the entire petrol station started to go up as well. So I got the hell out of the petrol station. I managed to hijack quite a fast car. And anyway, I had this 10-minute chase with the police that went on, seriously, for about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. I wish I had this recorded, honestly, guys, I really do. I'd have had this on this video straight away. It was immense. I ended up going into, the storm drainage system that LA is famous for. And I drove up towards the dam sort of area where it is. And I ended up losing the police by simply jumping into the water in the car and then swimming underwater away as all the lights were circling for me and everything. Honestly, it was immense. It's one of the best things I've done so far in the game. Of numerous hilarious things, it's one thing that really stood out, just for the fact that even though I didn't have any grenades or any means of an explosive, I just thought, you know what, we'll think around this problem and we'll blow the car up. But it really went up. And that's another thing, the explosions look amazing, don't they, in the game? They really do. Unbelievable.
I mean, everything's looking pretty amazing. I gotta say, the water graphics are fantastic, especially when you're in that drainage system, because it's that shallow water and you've got the lighting hitting it. it is just so...
The wave physics as well,
Yeah.
when you're out in the sea. Amazing, aren't they?
It's like, okay, Liberty City, the water really... Like, the waves weren't going up and down that much because it was more of a river instead. But they did... They have thought about how to make it look more like an ocean in Los Santos and that. And the waves come in pretty high as well, if you're looking at it from the docks. And it's quite hard to believe how well they've done it. It looks almost real. Again, when you're going through the drainage system.
Well, I've had people come and have a look at this who aren't even gamers. Who've seen the water and gone, that just looks unbelievable.
Again, it's you spend half an hour staring out at the ocean and that, and just go, wow.
And the graphics under the ocean as well, with all the fish and coral and all the other things going on. You know, it's absolutely insane.
It's just been like the amount of detail that's in it. It's even harder to fathom. As every time we get to these games, you always spend you'd spend hours just going, how did they do this? This is just beyond it. And they didn't have to do it.
It's witchcraft.
They didn't have to do it.
It's witchcraft. There's nothing short of witchcraft. I don't know how they've managed to pull this out of, machines that are knocking on, sort of 9-year-old technology. I don't know how they've done it. I really do. I honestly don't know how they've done it.
I'm shocked they actually managed to make a beach.
They deserve a medal up at Rockstar.
I'm shocked they made beaches, like proper beaches, full of people and
in the
tents
sand
and everything.
Yeah.
We're all so used to miles of just yellow.
It feels so alive. Yeah.
Miles of yellow. Yeah. No, now
it doesn't feel so alive, doesn't it? The city, there's all sorts going on all the time. There's multiple things going on. Now, another highlight I'm going to talk about as well was when I got in the truck that resembled the Pork Chop Express from Big Trouble in Little China. And we've got a great big Convoy song came on.
Of course.
As I was driving. Now, you just can't write this, can you? You just cannot write this. Literally, as I started driving in the truck, the Convoy song came on the country music channel, which was obviously for some reason on in this truck when I got in. And I was driving back to the city from the countryside. Now the sky's quite dark in the countryside, and then as I was cresting a hill, just coming over, you could see the bathe lights in the sky above Los Santos, and then as you drive into the city, you can start to see all the detail, and it looked real. It looks like it does when I drive back to Leeds, from out in the countryside, and you see the glow of Leeds lights, over a hill, before you actually can see the city. Just amazing. I mean, we're going to have some footage to demonstrate a bit of that as well, just so you can see what we're talking about there.
Yeah,
but it won't be in the truck, unfortunately.
No, I gotta say, every time you come in from the countryside, or like even if you're flying in, that glow that's just coming off the city, and the fact is as well, it's not all a straight line city that you used to see with Liberty City. Like Los Angeles, it's just sprawling. It's stuff built on top of stuff, built on and built on. So you just see all these kind of random lines and that going across the horizon of the city as well, and it just gives you that extra feel of realism. And it's like you thought Liberty City skyline was beautiful.
Yeah, wait till you see this, people.
Los Santos looks like something that looks like something you see in real life. And it's just been so well done, I gotta say. It's really impressive.
I mean, I had one of the guys who comes around here, he's not a particular video game fan, and he saw me playing it, and he just said, this looks like a film. And I said, well, it pretty much is. It's pretty much like playing a movie. It's completely insane. But it's a movie where you can go do whatever you want. Completely insane. Now, I honestly can't wait until it goes live online now. Now that we've actually got to explore some of it, the potential for what we can get up to online is just going to be ridiculous. Going to be hilarious. Now, I did have a couple of issues, and these are just minor things. One, when I was driving down one of the highways, I passed a convoy of like 10 trucks that were exactly the same, which kind of took me out of it for a few seconds, but minor niggle. And there was another time when I was in the strip club, and there was a guy who was sprinting, but he was actually just caught in a chair and table. Just sort of stood there running. But these are really the only two minor things I've seen so far in a 30-hour playthrough so far. And obviously in 30 hours I've only just got access to the third character as well. I mean, obviously we all know there's 3 characters, but I've only just got access to him after 30 hours. So I've been taking my time and doing various things in it.
Yeah, I mean...
But yeah, very impressive. Very impressive game.
I've had one freeze out of the game, and that was when you get to take control of Trevor. That was the only freeze I've had. You come across the minor glitches that are just very simple. You go, okay, fair enough. Understandable.
Well, it's a massive game, they're par for the course, aren't they? Speaking of par for the course, how good's golf as well? And you can drive from hole to hole on a golf buggy, people. That's how good it is. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. And the tennis mini game's really good as well. They're all really good. I was very surprised at just actually how good the little tennis games and stuff and the golf was. They were very much like a very advanced versions of sort of PS1 or PS2 sports games. Really, really good, really good. But yeah, I think overall, so far, it's probably one of the best games I've ever seen and played. Really, I think in terms of an open realised world, it's the one. Skyrim and that. I mean, and I'm talking in terms of what the consoles are capable of. I think that and Skyrim, I'd probably say that Grand Theft is better than Skyrim. Not just in how detailed it is and all the other little things you can do. And also we haven't played the online yet, so I think with the online it's probably going to be a 10 out of 10 game, isn't it? I think
once online comes along, the server's going to go back down for a bit. I've noticed, especially
there has been a lot of issues.
Your end, especially. You've been having some issues with Xbox
terrible.
Live. Australia's been fairly alright.
It's been bricking people's online connections. Me and a number of other people. The actual Xbox was claiming that there was no wireless signal, even though the PS3 had a signal, the Wii had a signal, the phone had a signal. Yeah, I don't really know what's been going on, but Microsoft need to do some serious work to get it resolved, and fast, because if they think this is bad, wait till the online starts. It could break the internet. Well, because there's only going to be more and more people who find out about how good this game is.
Yeah, I mean, I got to say, while you've been stewing about the whole iFruit app on the iPhone and the iPod, like any iOS device, really.
Yes, I'm very annoyed about that.
You're still annoyed about it that I get to feed
Chop,
I want to
create my own number plate, and I want to train Chop, and I haven't got an iPhone. I've got a BlackBerry, so I feel discriminated against. What they should do is they should introduce that to the social club, so I can do that. But I'm more bothered about the modified car stuff because I want my own number plate and stuff, and other, that's what I want.
I just want to have Knight Rider on
I'm not too
Phoenix.
Fussed about the dog, but it would be nice.
Now, here's the thing though. It's taken a good few days for even me to be able to log into the bloody thing. Social network.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean,
the social club's been
the photos still don't work, do they? The photos that you take in game still don't work.
No,
I've had some belters as well. I've had some really good photos.
Yeah, I checked. I had to check to see if my Rockstar social club account was connected to my Xbox Live account because I was just starting to get worried that nothing was getting uploaded, and it was like everything was working fine. Once I got everything working fine, then the iOS app decided it was going to start working after that, but it's so temperamental it's not funny. I log in now and it would probably say connection error, or I can log in 5 minutes from now. I'll just log in perfectly fine and all that. But yeah, it's as the days have gone on, it's been easy to log into these facilities, and yeah, October 1st is going to be a massive strain. I can definitely see from the get go. But then,
yeah, I don't think we're going to get on. I don't think we'll be on for a few days, to be honest.
Oh, I think private mode.
But I'm a patient man. I don't mind. I'd rather it work properly than get in and sort of lose all your save data, or strange things start happening.
There's plenty of content on the single player anyway.
Yeah, I mean the single player is huge. I can easily see 100 hours coming out of that. I mean, I think I'm on 27%, and I've done 30 hours. So if it equates that out, we're going to be on for sort of 120 hours of gameplay from the single player. So pretty impressive. And that's without gold medaling all the missions and everything else. Now, one thing I was a bit disappointed with, though, is the time you take for missions, to do them. You're rated on your time, but if you're going to be drinking in the world and sort of RPing open world games like I do, it shouldn't be about how fast can you get to the mission or whatever. You should be able to drive there at your own pace and listen to the conversations, that are happening, and just sort of get in there. So. But anyway,
they're just trying to
another minor.
They're just trying to cater for all audiences, which I like to see is happening. I mean, this is a concept that was brought in from Ballad Gay Tony again, and I do like the odd challenge. I mean, the thing is with GTA 5, it's too big a game for me to even bother taking on such a challenge as it was with Ballad Gay Tony, where I could go, okay, I reckon this could be a good afternoon to try and get something close to 90% on all the challenges.
I think there's an achievement in there for 70 gold medals or something like that. So it's a big undertaking to actually do that. And kudos to anybody who does that, by the way. Let us know who you are, and we'll give you a shout out on the show if you're listening. But yeah, very impressed. I think overall, though, a very impressive game, and you should definitely go out and buy it, people. Definitely. So we're not going to keep you too much longer now. We're just going to give you an update. Next week, we are going to be returning to our Overlooked games, so you can look forward to that. But we just thought we'd do a quick show of impressions and sort of get everybody excited and sort of have some discussion about what we thought. But don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. We love you all, people, as you know. And please let us know your experience with some video responses or comments. So it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from
Asian Jesus. There we go.
What an amazing finish that was.
Whoever wants answering machines, we're not prompt. Here's the thing. We can't sit next to each other and just go, yes, goodbye from me, and roll it on to you. We just have it on video chat, or I can just do the twisty thing with my fingers and point.
Do not forget to tune in next week, people. We will be returning to our usual sort of style of show. We will definitely have some more Grand Theft in there if you want us to talk about some more. And we're definitely going to be featuring Grand Theft Online when that comes out. So don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.